All right, boys. I needed to make a video about this because we need to talk. And I've been really heated about it, and I gave it some time to cook. And here we are, Thursday, on May the 9th, and I'm still frustrated about what I'm seeing. And here's what I'm going to talk about. And let's just be honest. And you guys all know this, and if you're not, you're just Xavier and X-Men fanboys. But the truth is, Magneto did nothing wrong, and especially in this situation, the X-Men and Xavier are actually the villains. And let's talk about it. And if you don't know, in the most recent episode of X-Men '97, which I think has been killing it, other than I do wish that they would slow the pacing down a little bit. I don't know why we are doing these 20 to 25-minute episodes here in 2024 when we don't have commercial breaks that you have to do in the standard half-hour block. So I wish they would like extend these episodes just a little longer, and we get a little more out of them. But anyways, let me just talk about this episode. Like at the end of it, I've seen a lot of comments related to Wolverine, and I'm down here in the basement, so you'll just have to tolerate it for today, boys. Um, and the thing is, they're like, "Oh man, Magneto ripped the adamantium out of Wolverine. Can you believe that?" And it's like, I mean, yeah, I can. But anyways, the main thing I want to focus on with this is like the comments that I've been seeing is like, "Wow, that is crazy that he did that to Wolverine." Meanwhile, and then right before this happens, Professor Xavier is telling him to, for the love of God, to stop this as he's about to rip the adamantium out of him. 5 seconds before that, the professor is trying to brain control Magneto. And then a second before this, Wolverine stabs Magneto, trying to murder him with his adamantium claws. So, right there, boys, right there, we've already established who the bad guy is and who the good guy is. Good guy is Magneto. Bad guy, Professor X, who has always sucked, always has. And then Wolverine, who's been he's okay, right? And so, and then if you want to go, well, what were they doing there in the first place, right? Like, how do we get to this point? Well, they're going to asteroid M to stop Magneto. Stop him from what? He hasn't done anything. And here's the thing: in the previous episode, oh, he hasn't done anything. By the way, he saved all of them. So think about that. Not only does Magneto save the world, he also then gets stabbed by Wolverine for it. That's Professor Charles Xavier for you. That's Logan. Two of the most overrated characters in the X-Men universe, or Marvel universe, whatever you want to call it. I've always wished that Omega Red would just rip Wolverine apart and finish him off. Because again, and then the people are like, it's just awful what Magneto did to Wolverine. He has a healing factor, and so Magneto doesn't have the healing factor. If Magneto dies, by the way, he has been the best character in X-Men '97, hands down. It hasn't even been close. It has been nice not to hear Jean Grey yelling and fainting, but she has sucked as always. And Professor has sucked, and Cyclops has been better than he was, but has still not been great. And it's been Magneto carrying the first season. And so if he dies from this, so annoying because he did nothing wrong. So let's backtrack. Okay. We know he gets stabbed and then rips the adamantium out of Wolverine. Well, episode prior, Magneto was captured by Bastion. Why they didn't kill him then, I don't really know. It was being held captive by Bastion. The doctor, whatever her name is, set him free. He flew to the North Pole and set off an EMP blast that knocked out all the electronics in the world. Meanwhile, the entire X-Men were under attack, and all of mutants would have been under attack by prime sentinels that humans had got converted into unknowingly. So here we are, and the only way to do that was to instantly have Magneto go and solve the problem. And what did he do? He stepped up to the plate and solved the world's problem, right? Now, there's repercussions of that we're going to talk about, obviously, like, all the all the humans, communication systems, everything, right, are all gone. So we're in the Dark Ages. And the question was, well, what if we have Magneto turn the power back on, so to speak, right? Which would activate the Sentinels. Fortunately, for once in his life, Scott Summers doesn't do the wrong thing. And when Xavier's trying to mind wipe Magneto wrongly, Summers blasts him with the optic blast to stop it, thank goodness. And then again, then Wolverine gets to stab Magneto, because here that makes sense, right? The guy who saved the X-Men, saved Wolverine, saved the planet, from, and again, you could say, well, what after all the mutants are dead, then the Sentinels will be fine. But the truth is, Magneto saved the world, and what does he get thanks for it? The X-Men and Xavier show up and stab him. So what I'm hoping at least is that Summers will realize that, oh, I should join Magneto. But God, Magneto, you better not die, man. We just bringing back Professor X sucked. So I was so disappointed to see him back. So like in the episode before, the X-Men are literally about to lose. Magneto's being held captured, which, by the way, and in the episode before that, why was he captured? Well, he was over at the mutant island of Genosha to take over as the leader of the island. And what happens? A Sentinel attack comes and wipes out almost all of the mutants on there. We lose Gambit, by the way, and then all the Morlocks and all of the host of other mutants are all gone. And then what we get? What's her name? Frost or whatever. I can't think of her name. She survives. We lose the second best character of X-Men 97, who got completely railroaded multiple occasions. Madeline Pryor, who should have not have been killed off. She deserved to have way more storyline, way more of a better situation than that. And instead, they just got rid of her when there could have been a ton of development there. But that was completely short-sighted. That was something they needed to break away from and do an alternate storyline with. This redemption arc for Jean Grey. No, we need to stop that as well. But there was another thing. So anyways, the Sentinel thing, the Sentinel Godzilla attacks, and in trying to save everyone, Magneto survives, Gambit dies, all the other people die. And then that led us to him getting captured, to then going to the North Pole, blacking out the world, right? And so again, here's a guy that was just going to be a leader of the free mutant country, and all those mutants gets killed. And again, now because he then also retaliated, which subsequently saved the X-Men and saved the world, now he gets to get stabbed by Professor X, his little pocket pet Wolverine. There we are, Professor X projecting everything onto everyone else again. And so I wish Cyclops would have just blasted him off the face of the earth so that we can never have to deal with him in the Marvel universe again. But that's where we're at. So the truth is, like Arthas, Magneto did nothing wrong. And in this case, Magneto was right. Professor Xavier is wrong again. And I just hope Magneto survives this. And I know I'm just saying the same things over and over, but I was glad to see that Rogue joined him. I hope Cyclops joins him. And I hope some others join him. And we get a different X-Men team. And we just get a whole new team in general. Like, we can do without Beast. We can do without Jubilee. Let's get rid of Jean Grey and get Madeline back. Have her join Magneto. I don't care how we do it and how we get it done. Storm sucks. Could you guys ever think of an X-Men that has more power that does little like with it? Beyond like freezing some people in the 90s, she hasn't done anything in this other than like squeal like a pig and lose her powers and go, I'm afraid. And then she comes back and hugs Jean Grey and does nothing. So here we are where Magneto's finally getting the attention he deserves, and what happens? He might be dead. Now, I don't read the comics, and I know a little bit about what happens in them. But man, if you can comment down below and tell me, does Magneto survive or not? God, because I don't know what they're going to do with this next episode. We still got Bastion out there. I'll do a follow-up video, and if we lose Magneto, I'm going to be pissed. And so, I just, I don't know, man. Whatever we got to do to keep him around, we got to keep him around, boys. So, that's all I've got. It's your man, the Mega Power. I know X-Men's a little outside of my brand here with the video game stuff, but we needed to talk about it because it was on my mind. So, let me know what you guys think. Comment down below, and I'll be back next week for another episode. We got to see what happens.